Well, excited that we made it through another camp, 2-a-days. Excited about this opening weekend. We're going to Notre Dame to play a really quality event with three other good volleyball teams, including, Notre Dame, the number 25 team in the country. So we made it through our preseason camp relatively healthy. Everybody made it through fine, which is always a big concern. And, other than continuing to figure out some, lineup situations and things like that, I think our kids are ready to play. So we're excited to get started. So with that, I'll take questions.
Obviously, fantastic year last year, fantastic year before that. It seems like everybody expects you to win every match you play, which, in sports, that's not really realistic. I guess, how do you manage all the expectations that this program has on it, heading into this year?
That's a really great question. Because it is unfair. It's not only unrealistic, it's unfair. It's unfair to ask these kids to match what's been done over the last 2 years. I mean, 2 years ago, we lost one match in the regular season. Last year, we didn't lose any. That's unfair. It's unrealistic. It's unfair. You have to be talented. We are. But you have to be lucky. You have to stay healthy. You have to get breaks. You have to have things go your way. Because if it was just talent, we'd just match it up on paper and see who's the best and move on to the next round. And there's a lot more stuff at play. And, one of the things, that's one of the big things that I'd like this entire community to understand about our program is, I don't want our kids to be recognized because we win championships. I don't want our kids to be recognized because we're in the top 25. I want our kids to be recognized for the kind of program that they make up. The way they handle themselves, the competitiveness with which they play the game. Those are the things we can control. We can't really control any of the rest of the stuff. And so, to me, I just like everybody to embrace the fact that we have a group of kids that are talented, but they do things the right way. And they're fun to watch, and they're going to compete hard for each other in that jersey. And a lot of nights that means we're going to win. But there has to be more to it. There has to be more to this journey than just going out and winning another trophy. And so we're in that chase again to try to put ourselves in that position. I tell our administration all the time, there's no such thing as a guarantee to win a championship, especially in a league like we're in. I was recently in a conversation with Todd Stewart about it, and when you look across Conference USA in any sport, there's really nothing you can compare what WKU volleyball has done over the last 6 or 7 years. It's unheard of. We've been in the league, there's 12 trophies, and we have 10 of them. And look across any sport in this league on any level, and it's just a remarkable stretch. And so it's just not realistic to ask that to be the case every year. But these kids will again give us a chance. They will again put us in a position, and they will again play really, really hard for that jersey.
So what you mentioned after the squad scrimmage last week, that at this point it's more about bringing the squad along as a group rather than really polishing things up.
Mm-hmm.
But after another week of practices and the Kentucky exhibition this week, how are you feeling going into this trip to Notre Dame?
Yeah, that's what's exciting. The most exciting thing for me regarding that Kentucky exhibition match, to be honest, was a lot of the kids that may not ever see the floor this weekend. The most exciting thing to me was all of our young kids stepping out there in a really big moment in front of a lot of people in a big environment and playing well, because certainly that speaks to the health of our program moving forward, but it also speaks to the quality of what our gym should be like every day in practice. And that was by far my biggest takeaway from that exhibition match. What do we get better at? We knew we have to be better serving the ball than we were. We're getting good serving from a couple places, but not consistently throughout our lineup. That's something that's been a big emphasis the last 2 days, and I think we've improved upon. And, we took a lot out of that exhibition match, and those are things that we're hard at work at right now: team defense, serving, doing the things, offensively. Most nights, offensively, we're going to be good enough to win. So it really is about focusing on defending at a high level and making sure that it doesn't just turn into kind of a slugfest on both sides of the net.
Coach, you mentioned going to Notre Dame for that first tournament. Obviously, last year you guys were limited in what you could do with your non-conference schedule. I just wanted to know what your thoughts were on this year and how it will help prepare you for conference play later on down the road.
Well, we're excited. We're excited to be playing, teams the quality of Notre Dame and Lipscomb and Kansas, and we've got a much stiffer test in front of us in the non-conference slate. But still, we were limited by COVID in many ways. There's a lot of teams that are still staying very close geographically in non-conference play. So it was still really difficult to schedule. We would love to have had a couple more maybe top 25 opportunities littered throughout our schedule, but it's not just about wanting those opportunities. They have to come to fruition. And but we really get thrown to the wolves here in these first 2 weeks with some quality opponents. And but I think our kids are looking forward to that challenge. So we'll roll it out there and see where we are.
So you mentioned after that exhibition with Kentucky, the crowd size was almost unbelievable. You're very big on the community as a whole, embracing your team. Knowing that was a crowd for a game that won't count in the record books, how excited does that get your squad for the home opener against Belmont in August?
Yeah, there's been a lot of chatter about that in our locker room because it just, again, these kids put so much into this, and there's just nothing like coming out of that tunnel and feeling that energy in Diddle Arena. And, our program has worked for a very, very long time to try to not only be noticed in this community, but be respected and be adored and embraced. And I truly feel like this community is starting to embrace the sport of women's volleyball for all the right reasons. And listen, I think it goes beyond winning games. I think it has a lot to do with how invested in the community these kids are and the fact that they're good kids and they go to class and they graduate and they do all the right things. I mean, it's the total package. And, I think people, due to that NCAA tournament 2 years ago when we hosted and had over 5,000 people in here, I think a lot of new people were exposed to what a WKU volleyball match is. And again, I've said since I got here, come once and you will be back. It's just amazing to see the level of athleticism and the toughness and the competitiveness and everything that these kids play with. And so we feel like it's snowballing in a good direction right now, and this particular group of kids won't do anything to damage that reputation when you come watch them play in Diddle.
Coach, you're coming off a short season with you guys played in the spring. I mean, yesterday you mentioned to me that you're going to emphasize trying to stay healthy since it's a long season. What specifically are you going to do to give your players some extra rest?
Yeah, it's a really, really big challenge. Again, I don't think anybody that hasn't been through it can totally grasp exactly how you feel when you're at the end of a collegiate season. Whether it's volleyball or baseball or basketball or football, it doesn't matter what it is. When you get to the end of that grind, that everyday grind with practices and travel and late nights and ups and downs from games, and let's not forget class and studying and big tests and all the other things that go along with it, it is a lot for these kids to shoulder every day. And when we're done, usually we're done in December, and we have till August, 8 months later, before we have to be there again mentally. This year is incredibly unique in that, we got done in April, and 2-3 months later, these kids are back on campus having to do it again, and that problem is real. That is going to be a legitimate concern, and we've got to do everything we can to try to keep them fresh, and whether that's shortening some practices or taking more days off or the depth that we have. That's why I've been working so hard to develop our depth, because I think that lessens the load for everyone. But this is a mental toll as much as it is a physical toll. And so I think it's real. I think that this is a year, hopefully it's not Western Kentucky, but I think it's a year in college volleyball where you're going to see some teams play really well early and then get to mid to late October and really kind of hit a wall. And I hope we're not one of those. It's certainly on my mind, and we're trying to do everything we can to make sure that doesn't happen.
Coach, we've talked a lot about the bench, but you guys have a lot of pretty good starters coming back as well. Being one of the last 16 teams in the country last year and everybody coming back, what
Yeah, well, to me, it was going to all be based on what I just talked about. It was all going to be about the mentality that all these returning kids came back with. And I can tell you going in, regardless of how this weekend or next weekend or any of that turns out, I'm thrilled with the mentality that these kids have had. A kid like Nadia Judnay coming back for an extra year, came in the best physical condition she's ever been in, and is in the best frame of mind she's ever been in. She's really had a great camp for us and played well. Kayland Jackson, we moved her to the right side in the spring. She's played in the middle. She's played on the left. We moved her to the right side in the spring, and she really came on late in the year and has continued to play well in our preseason and is just more comfortable in that position. And then look, kids like Avery Davis, who was a young kid in our lineup. Avery played really well the other night. Now, is that from another year of experience or because she has more depth pushing her from behind? It's probably both. But the reality is it makes us better at that given position. And so it's a combination of things. But, talent was never going to be what I was questioning, about this team. It was going to be what frame of mind would they be in. And to this point, so far, they've done a great job. And I'm really, really proud of them because, again, coaches haven't been with them this summer. This is about them. And so in my mind, they've done their part. They came back in a good frame of mind, and they've really worked and done a great job. And now it's on me to make sure that we navigate this season to get them to the finish line still feeling in that manner.
Obviously, you said last year was the most difficult of your career. You're 27 now. I guess, where are you at? How are you feeling personally after this year?
Well, yeah, I've said it many times. Last spring was the most difficult thing I've ever done because, we're not supposed to be playing volleyball in the spring. I'm supposed to be out doing other things that I enjoy and just working on developing players and doing all that. And it was difficult for us to navigate that through the COVID experience. And, yeah, coaches are no different, to be honest. Coaches are no different. This turnaround being right back in season came awfully quick for the old ball coach, too. And I can tell you this, it's been difficult for me to be ready mentally, but this group of kids has helped tremendously because of the energy that they bring every day. And but the same thing holds, I think, for myself and our staff. Again, we're going to have to balance those things too. We're going to have to find times to get out of the office and do other things. So if you see me playing a round of golf somewhere, don't think I'm slipping. I probably just need a little bit of a mental break. I would also duck if I'm playing golf because that's probably not going to go where I want it to go, but that's a story for another day. But, we're all tired, but so is every other team in the country. And one of the things that I pride our program on is the tougher it gets, the more I like our chances. I say it a lot. And this is difficult, asking a team to squeeze, any team in the country, to squeeze 2 seasons in 1 calendar year. This is not anything that any of us would ever want, but it's what we have, and we like the opportunity, and it's a great group of kids to do it with.
Hey guys, Jared McDonald with the Daily News. Good to see you not on Zoom. This is for both of you, I guess. Obviously, short season, short off season. I mean, what was it kind of like for you guys now being back here? Short rest.
Go for it.
It was obviously very different. We've never experienced anything like this. No one has. So it was just a lot mentally. We had to make sure we were mentally engaged, just knowing that, okay, it's time to go. It doesn't matter, what just happened. If we just played 2 or 3 months ago, this is a fresh start right now. So just getting everyone engaged and on the same page, even including the freshmen that weren't here, that was really important for us.
Yeah, I agree with that. It was a really quick, not only mental turnaround, but physical turnaround. We're just making sure we're taking care of our bodies since we just ended a season. But it was kind of good for us in a way because we kind of ended a season in a good flow, and we're kind of going right back into that flow again. So it's kind of been a nice stretch of an easy turnaround to get back into the flow of things.
Jake Moore here with the College High Trail on campus, especially for both of you all. Bringing back the whole team from last year and bringing in 4 new freshmen, Kelsey, Katie, Kennedy, and Hallie. As 5th years, what have you all really seen from those 4 girls so far? How have they kind of slotted into the system? And then for Hallie, Kelsey is a defensive specialist as well. What did you really see from her, and how have you brought her under your wing?
For all of the freshmen, the first thing we all notice and talk about all the time in the locker room is just how much talent they have. You can just see how much potential they have. I mean, Kennedy Coyle has already been killing it on the right side, and you can just see how they all act as like sponges. Anything Travis says, they're absorbing so quick, and they're so coachable. So that's an amazing atmosphere that they're bringing into our gym. And then with Kelsey, just pure talent right off the bat. I mean, she's always been the best in her high school program, which a lot of Division I athletes are when they come to this point, but she's always been the best at her high school. So coming in here, we know she has a ton of talent, and she's also absorbing all this information from Travis and from us seniors trying to, coach her along in passing drills or what have you. And she's just bringing a great attitude. We love the freshmen. They're going to be something special one day.
Yeah, it was really exciting for all of the vets to watch them play against UK. Just because they did such an amazing job just out there. They played with a great rhythm and flow. And, when you throw a freshman out there, you're like, you don't really know what you're going to get, especially against, the national champions, UK. But they stood up to the test, and they did a really awesome job. We talked about it after the game, and we just said, look, you guys are special. This is going to be like an awesome team when it's your turn, like, to shine and be on the court. So keep absorbing, keep working. They are all great workers, and it's been really fun to watch them grow these past couple weeks with them, and I'm really excited to see what they do.
This question's for both of you as well. It was the first one I asked Travis, but as players, how do you manage all the expectations on this program right now?
I think we turn so there are obviously a lot of high expectations on us, but you can turn what may feel like pressure on us into motivation, and that's kind of our goal in our program is. Because it seems like every year we have such high expectations and so much pressure that people say. But we really just try to turn that into motivation. Okay, what can we even do better? Which might sound crazy. Travis always says there's not a lot of records you can break around here anymore, but we're always looking for something. So we kind of just turn that pressure into motivation.
Serving was an area that you guys wanted to work on all last year. Hallie is probably the team's top server last year. I guess, how have you seen that kind of come along now early in this fall?
Yeah, it really is coming along. I mean, at the beginning it's a little rocky, but I mean, all of our servers are in the gym every single day, at least 30 minutes early, just getting rep after rep, and you can really see the determination in all of them. And not only before practice, but during practice, we really implemented some drills, some competitive serving drills, some individual serving drills. And you can really see like the margin of difference between individual servers. So I think it'll be a good year for us in that aspect.
And a question for both of you all as fifth years. I mean, like you said, there's not a lot of records left to break here, but as we enter this season, is there anything that you all are focusing on in your game? Anything you really want to just get that much better at? Anything you're really focusing on as the season is about to begin?
I think as a team, we're really focused a lot right now on defense, whether that's the serving aspect, the blocking, or the floor defense. That's something that we all collectively think as a team that we can just get better on. And like Hallie said, it's just about finding little things that you can fine-tune every single time. It's not, don't overwhelm yourself with, oh my gosh, what do we have to do this year? It's just taking the little pieces and saying, what can I get better at? What can I get better at? Because you can always get better at something. And I think when we stick to that and keep a positive mind frame, then it will all turn out really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly what she said. We've been really focused and honed in on defense this season, and especially for us as fifth-year seniors, we're just trying to focus on the little things like she said, because we've pretty much hit our ceiling of potential at this point. So we're just trying to stay as sharp as we can, and we know what our job is on the court, so we're just trying to make sure that's as sharp as can be every time we go out there.
This one's, I guess, for both of you. Coach mentioned Avery as one of the players that's kind of taken another step up, young player last year. I guess, what have you seen from her, since the end of last year up until this point now?
As a hitter, I kind of understand where she was at last year. It was her first time really being a present on the court last year. Like, that was her first time. So we had a lot of expectations for her, and that's a lot of pressure. So I feel like coming into it now, she's a lot more confident, she's a lot more comfortable, and those things play a major role into being a really dominant player. So, she's just coming along really well. And I think, the more confidence she can get in that position, the better. We're just going to see her grow even throughout this year. I think she will still reach heights that we may not even know that she has, or she even knows she has, but she's doing really well in the gym and she's just absorbing everything. So it's really well.
Yeah, I definitely see a positive change in her confidence. And you can just tell even by watching the Kentucky exhibition match, her decision making and volleyball IQ is what I would call it. It just seems like it's on a higher level now, and that's really great to see from her.